Brian.
Hi.
Great to have you here at GPX Summit 2016. For those of you watching this for the first time, Brian Dean is CEO and founder of Backlinko, one of my favorite blogs, actually. So great to have you here.
Thanks, good to be here.
We have just a few questions for you, so I'll just dive straight in. Could you name any content marketing strategies who have kind of stood the test of time and you think will continue to be reliable in the next few years?
Yeah, I think any sort of in-depth guides and blog posts will always do well, because ultimately when people search for something in Google, they want an answer to a question and they want a solution to their problem. So when you can provide that in one place on one page, Google and users will always value that. Because otherwise, if you do 5 blog posts optimized around 5 keywords and that's kind of your approach, it's not going to provide as much value to people, and Google obviously won't value either. So the thing that will always work is basically saying, look, this person searching for this keyword, what do they want? And what would make Google happy, and what would make the user happy, and just giving it to them. That's something that's kind of high level, but as long as you do that as your mentality of creating it, as opposed to like, this is cool, or this is optimized well, you'll always do well.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds like a very good plan to follow. What are some marketing tactics a business can use to scale its marketing efforts without compromising the quality?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing you ultimately have to do is get more people. That's the answer. It's unfortunately the way it is, because marketing is so much creativity and approach and ideas that you can't scale it in the sense of just throwing money at it. Now, of course, there's easy scalable stuff like Facebook ads or AdWords, right? Or video marketing ads, like things like that. You can actually scale pretty easily because you find out what works and just throw money into it and throw gasoline on the fire. So of course, any sort of paid traffic is a great thing you can scale if you're finding out what works. But in terms of like our world of like inbound marketing and SEO, you just need people that are smart and can write well and all that good stuff. And there's no shortcut, unfortunately.
Yep, I totally agree. How do you think online businesses can divide their efforts between testing new platforms like Snapchat and consolidating their long-standing marketing channels like email marketing and content marketing?
Well, I'm going to tell like it is in this one. If you're spending a second on Snapchat instead of your email marketing or content marketing, you're an idiot. Because there's no evidence that Snapchat makes you any money whatsoever. Any money. Of course, there's people on it, and in some industries, it can be really important. But if you have something that works, your goal should be to double down on what works. Like that's one of the keys of marketing is test different things, find out what works, and then just double down on that with, like we said, scaling it with people and effort. But for example, in most businesses, especially email marketing is the #1 thing. Like for my business, it's the #1 thing. For most businesses, it's the #1 thing. And if you keep your eye off the ball on that to get people on Snapchat to look at some pictures of what you ate, you're an idiot. So really, I'm the last person to focus on test these new platforms. I like to kick it old school because I find that people rush to these platforms and those are my competitors, and I love when they do it because that's more emails for me, which is actually where the money is, as opposed to Snapchat, which is not proven to make any money.
True story, I might add. Do you think SEO tactics have become more complex in the past years as algorithms on different platforms just constantly change? Or do the same best practices still work?
Well, it kind of depends on what you mean by like the new or the old. There was a period of SEO kind of when Google first came out, so let's say 98 to like 2005, 2006, where there were no paid links really. You know, you have to like email people and get paid links. You couldn't buy them from the Warrior Forum. There was no like blog commenting software. Like Black Hat was actually really hard. So people just tended to do white hat. They just created a great site, created great content, optimized around a keyword, and then use email outreach to build links to it. And then between like, when I got into SEO, it was like 2008 to 2012, it was all Black Hat stuff. And that's where it was easy. It was super easy. Like we just created some crappy site with an exact match domain, built links to it that were Black Hat, and you'd rank. So it's much harder than then. But I would say the same stuff that was working in the early days of SEO is today. What are people doing today? The same as they were in the year 2001, right? Creating a great site, creating great content, optimized around a keyword, and then using email outreach to build links to it. Like if you do that, you're good to go, and that might become more complicated, but there's other factors like I talked about in the talk, like click-through rate and dwell time. But most of that stuff is just a byproduct of just doing the right things in the first place.
Perfect. So yeah, doing the right thing on the web, that would make us all happier, I think. Do you think a good strategy and consistent implementation trump having a lot of resources to do your marketing with?
Yeah, when it comes to SEO, definitely, because we've seen that time and time again. A great example is a site called nerdwallet.com in the States. So they entered with just 3 guys in a room in the personal finance space, which is super competitive. Like the cost per click for credit cards and best credit cards is like $70 a click in AdWords. It's like absurd. And they're competing against all these established players like creditcards.com, all the credit card companies themselves, financial institutions that have credit cards. And there were just 3 guys in a room, scrappy as hell. And they built it up. Of course, they scaled it a little bit in terms of people. Now they have a lot of people. But now they rank #1 for like credit cards, life insurance, best credit cards, business credit cards. And when they started, they had no budget. They were just smart, and they knew they went into the white hat content marketing thing a little bit earlier than other people. Like I think it started in like 2011. So that's like the height of Black Hat was like 2011, 2012. And they were a little bit ahead of the game there. So they're able to outrank all these guys very quickly, just being scrappy and smart. So yeah, having some budget does not magically help you rank, which is a good thing.
Yeah, indeed. And I think that this is a good thing to focus on building the team and having those core skills that you need to further fuel your marketing, basically. So how was the GPEC experience for you so far? Would you recommend the conference and the atmosphere here to other e-commerce players?
Definitely. It's an awesome conference. Like as soon as I came in, well, I went to a speaker's dinner last night and met the organizers, which was great. Felt very welcome. And then when I came here today, I was super impressed, like instantly. It just has a good, intimate feel, a friendly feel. It doesn't feel like those mega conferences where it's very impersonal. I feel like it's just a cool conference, and what I've seen so far is everything's great.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing this, and thank you for taking the time to do this interview.
No problem. Thanks.
Great having you here, and hopefully you'll be back here again.
Okay, cheers. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Brian.
Bye.